Previously on BYL.
And people who are depressed, I don't know, when you say come out of it, it's not easy. Come out of what? You even know when you're crying sometimes. Mine was bad. I would sit down, I would just be crying because I was broke, no money, no job, and of course, marriage was like was looking like it was on Mount Everest. You have to go and climb, and I wasn't going to struggle to climb that distance. And then you have them tell you all the sorts of nonsense about marriage. I struggled with it.
Today, we share some tips on how to prepare to face the challenges that life throws at you without being affected negatively.
As a young person in today's world, the pressure is real. The pressure is real. However, the pressure can be overcome. You must know from a young age who you are. And I know that we always say that thing, and that in itself is pressure. That in itself is pressure, because once someone hears this, hey, I don't know who I am. But at least you must know from a young age, begin to ask yourself deep introspective questions, because that who you are question as well is something that can take you for the next 50 years of your life. But begin to ask yourself deep introspective questions about why you think you were born in the family you're born into, why you think you're in the school you are, why you think that your life is the way that it is. And as you do that, give yourself patience and time. I think my most important message to young people is just be patient. Be patient. The pressure is real, but be patient. And the pressure is getting worse. It's not going to get better. But be patient. Accept wherever it is that you are. Accept whatever it is that you have. I didn't say this growing up. All I used to wear was bend down and hand-me-downs. I'm a proud last born. Even till today, I can go to my sister, please, are you clearing your cupboard? Where is that shoe? It was not a bad thing. I didn't have designers and stuff, but I was okay. In fact, by the time I got to university, I had so many clothes. They used to wonder that, Tony, what's going on? They did not know that, hey, it's not as if, but I was okay. I need to say this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but this is for someone. I remember when I got to school, like I said, I went to University of Lagos. Unilag can be pressure. And for some weird reason, I saw certain people living a certain lifestyle. And I actually considered, maybe you can do Aristo. Just because I wanted money that it's not as if I needed. Because thinking about it now, every time I think about this thing, I'm even wondering, what was pushing you there? What were you even looking for? Okay, maybe you went to school, your father said, all I can give you is 1.5. I ate food in that 1.5. I did transport in that 1.5. But there was the initial, maybe first 2 months, yes, in year one, pressure of this. People were going to clubs, people were doing this, they had this kind of clothes, and no gets. So I'll tell you a story. So one particular day, and I told God when I was going to lag, God, give me a friend. But you see, club friend, I don't want. The first day I went to that school, the first person I met, club boy, I said, yay, blood of Jesus. Because life will set you up. Life will set you up. First person my friend, except for my friend, I was going to resume school on Monday. I told her she used to live at Chemist bus stop. So I said, I didn't want to look like a JJC. So I said, let's go to lag on Friday, the Friday before the Monday. Let's just walk around. I will never forget, computer. There's someone in lag called computer. One car was just driving. 2 boys stopped. Hey, I said, Tony, you have started. So I met the stupid boy, who it was now later I realized was a club boy. So then I was just a child from a Christian home. maybe not my born again. It was right after I failed year 1. I said, God, let me know you, because I must finish school with a 2-1. So let's do a pact. I finish school with a 2-1. I serve you forever. In that whole my year 1, so one day the boy came and said, oh, let's go to club. I don't have clothes. So in my characteristic way, thank God for my siblings, amazing people. I went home and I told my sister, I said, please, I want to go to a club. Oh. What I see that they wear them, me, I don't have. Do you by any chance have anything? I know my sister looked at me and she said, in all truth, I'm sure I have things in my cupboard you can wear. But I just want to tell you that, Tony, I spent 4 years in Ife. She went to University of Obafemi Law University. So I spent 4 years in Ife and I never went to a club. You know, it was as if someone poured cold water on me. She just said it was a very casual. And as she said it, I just said, me too, I'm not going. And that was the end. And I think that was even the beginning of a seed sowed in my mind that you really don't have to live life how these people are living it. And that ended the whole Aristo desire. Like, the whole thing just crashed, bam. Like, okay, you can spend 4 years in school and not go to a club. Because in year 1, it just seems like what everybody is doing. I mean, the buses come, they park there, you see all the girls. I'm wondering, is there something I'm missing in this thing? So sometimes as well, as a young person, you just need sometimes someone to just speak one word of wisdom. Luckily for me, it was a sister. And I can imagine if I went to my sister and I said I was going to go to a club and I got a slap. I will go to that club. Like, I can imagine if I got a, what's wrong with you? Are you a stupid girl? What kind of child are you? You're a sport. I will go and find that club by fire by force. Yaba Bend Down was still fantastic at the time. And I will go to that club. But hey, this club you want me to go to. So it's interesting how, maybe this is also another message to parents, the way that you even advise, as you are giving us this good advice, tell me in a soft way.
So, yeah, when people say that I'm my daddy's girl, I'm not sure they understand the depth of that daddy's girl thing. Because even when they say it, I want to say it's a lie, I'm just, but really, it helped me emotionally, I would say that. And he may not know what he was doing, but I think it really helped me through a lot of things. Even academically, he was a bookworm too, like me. So he used to buy books. At times, he bought age-appropriate books. He didn't understand how that was helping me. So, and also when he sees me cry, at times he would just come and carry me. It helped me. It built confidence in me. And it also helped me not to look at men as monsters. He didn't have so much, at least when I came. There wasn't money again. Yeah. So he didn't have so much. So I would just say, like, I had no silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't experience any, but it was there. When we had competitions in school, it was there to cheer me on. I wouldn't say, my mom would have been there too, but she was ill. You understand? So my dad was there all the while. So even when my younger brother also took ill, he was there. So right now, so when I'm going through issues, I remember when I had my first relationship after university. Because I remember my dad called me in 300 level, 400 level that, you're in school, no time for boyfriend. I said, 400 level, daddy. He said, yes, when it's time, I will let you know. But somehow we connected. I understood what I was talking about. So when I had the first relationship and it broke, the first person I ran to was my dad. So, and when I called him that I was coming, he said, how is this person? I said, it's fine. But this happened. I come. So when we got there, he had scriptures. He had words of wisdom to tell me. And it helped me. Even when eventually the guy sent me a message, a text message to end it, my phone was with my dad and he read it. And I could let it go. My father helped me through that period. He helped me through the healing process.
Some interesting results from our survey show that 61.5% felt they did not have same value as their friends. 23% are comfortable with everything their friends do. 40% reported they did not like something about themselves. 58.5% felt they did not meet up with their friends' standards. 70.5% would like to change something about themselves. 35.3% said they did not like a part of their appearance. 40% felt their friends looked better than them, while 32.5% have felt like changing their looks at some point.
When there's a child or a teenager, we're not talking about children, teenagers, these are secondary school to university. Half of all mental illnesses start before the age of 14 and 2/3 before 24. So when we're talking of, if we have 1,000 mental illnesses, that means 500 start before that child is 14. That is the teenage age we are talking about now. And of course, we have now seen that there are what we call predisposing risk factors that make people have mental illnesses. And what are these predisposing risk factors? They are things that happen in the childhood of that individual. Death of one or both parents, domestic violence in the home, dysfunctional family setting, then of course, child sexual abuse. So you see there's an uproar now about child sexual abuse, how to protect our children. So child sexual abuse. Then one of the other major things is a family history of mental illness in that family. So you see where self-esteem is now really linked. When there's death of one or both parents, somehow that child is going to be taken up by somebody. Maybe grandparents, maybe the mother remarrying another man or the father remarrying another woman. That child's self-esteem lies in the hands of whosoever that child grows up with. So you see where it's very important. Then domestic violence. A child growing up in a home where there's so much violence, they will always not want to face challenges. They will always practice running away, withdrawing from that situation, recurring into their own self and seeing life in a bad manner. In fact, they will start, exhibiting that as they grow up and enter school. Most times, studies have shown that the boy becomes the abuser, while the girl becomes the abusee. So you see how that also is linked to self-esteem. Then, of course, child sexual abuse. They have trust issues. They have relationship challenges, and it reduces their self-esteem because it keeps recurring that, oh, maybe it was my fault. Maybe why would my uncle? Because most of the predators for child sexual abuse are people we know that are in the home. Mother's brother, father's brother, mother's sister, the nanny you used to call auntie that you trusted. So it rubs up on their trust and of course relationship with people generally and indirectly affecting their self-esteem. So these predisposing risk factors, in a way, they also rub off on the self-esteem, which are risk factors for that low self-esteem you see in that child. And we shouldn't rule out the fact that when that child eventually enters school, you find out that some children are segregated, maybe for reason that the child is chubby. So I don't want to use names that we use now. So look at that child, the child is plumpy, is chubby, not like you are fat. So body shaming. So the child might have come with good self-esteem from home and all that. Then by the time it goes to secondary school, which is a teenager, it's like you are fat. And then it keeps reoccurring that child that it goes back home, the child will start doing extreme measures. Mommy, they said I'm fat. Mommy, I'm not going to eat. Mommy, there's eating disorder. Anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, they are eating disorders that are not so common among the blacks, but we also see them. So the child will start going through extreme measures, especially the teenage years that we are talking about. So body shaming, cyberbullying, these are some of the things that also rubs off on our teenagers and reduces their self-esteem. Because we do understand that by 13, I think the age for Facebook is 13 because they will ask you for age. Then we know that some of them will have entered before even reaching 13 because the parents won't have known. They can be cyberbullied on various platforms. All the social media platforms are there that they can be bullied on. So cyberbullying is another way that their self-esteem can be eroded in. The body shaming is a way that self-esteem can. Then children living with disabilities. For us, instead of the disability, DIS, I always say these abilities. Why? Because for everybody there's an ability in that person. So if the child cannot write, with right, like me, I'm right-handed. Anything left-handed is a struggle. It's a disability. People will be thinking it's a good thing you can write with right. Who told me that? Who told us that left-handed people can't perform? We know the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. The left is the one, of course, the dominant, but the right is the creative one, and also, and if you are right-handed, then the left is more dominant. If you are left-handed, the right is more dominant. So you are talking about creatives now that are left-handed. It's a good thing for them because there is the right that is with the creative aspect. So we shouldn't look at it as a disability. It's only a disability, or if it starts affecting the person's day-to-day life, living activities, or affecting the person's quality of life, then that is a disability that can be corrected. Rather than ruling it out that this is let's forget, let's banish this teenager. It's not worth investing in. Even if that child has some form of mental disability. So for example, we have teenagers now that have anxiety, they have depression. And one of the symptoms of depression is loss of interest in things ordinarily they love to do, or sadness that is persistent. And this teenager is not focused in school, is failing. So academically, they are not doing well. Rather than using that to shame that child, look at how to manage his or her depression, and you start seeing them excel. So there are so many ways that we play a role, especially in these teenage years, that is so crucial in their self-esteem build, in their personality building too. It's also very crucial. So we need to be there for them, to be able to mold them, so that when they grow, that is like what they already have, and they can leverage on it. So body shaming, cyberbullying, people living with disability, it may even be deafness, it may be blindness, it may be somebody with one leg, or somebody that was affected with polio, or even somebody born with that, but not just that. No, you cannot go out with us. But up here, the person is very sound. Who said their disabilities is affecting that person's level of function and that person's discussion with other people? But the moment you now make that teenager aware that there's a problem, their self-esteem starts reducing. But when you let them know that, look, this is something that can be managed, you are good enough, you are enough, you are brilliant, you are this, those words of affirmation and words of encouragement helps them to do very well and better than we looking at these areas that they are not good at and using it against them.
As we try to create a healthy environment for children to grow in the family, it is important we speak positive words to them, words of affirmation and encouragement. Next on BYL.
Guy, why are you so fat? Why are you this fat? What are you eating? But you guys complained I was skinny. Like, I know I overdid this fat thing, but like, just accept me how I am. Like,
The first thing that I did that I was actually very, very proud of was learning photography. I was like, that is a breakthrough in my life, honestly, because my life was useless. I was working at the mall. If you work at the mall, you think you have everything. You have free Wi-Fi, you have free food, and but until it makes you useless.